Hello, beautiful soul. Thank you for tuning in to Back to the Heart. If you are loving these conversations about healing, mindset, and manifesting transformation, make sure to follow the show right now so you never miss an episode. And while you're here, tap that star or heart and share this episode with someone who's ready to come back to their heart too. And if you want daily inspiration, behind the scenes moments, and a peek into my world, come hang out with me on Instagram at back2, love me. All right, take a deep breath, open your heart, and let's dive in. Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Back to the Heart. I am your host, Amanda, and today I wanted to tell you a little bit about my story. It's been a while since I've told it in its entirety, so maybe if you're coming to me today for your first time to listen to the podcast, or you've just come across some of my content, I'll let you know a little bit about who I am and why I started this podcast and what I believe my purpose is here today. So my story begins, my story really got lit on fire about 18. In 2018, I was married. I'd been married for 5 years. I had been going through IVF, had experienced a pregnancy loss during that period, and then being diagnosed with endometriosis, stage 4 endometriosis, having 4 excruciating major surgeries in 2018, and ultimately the demise of my second marriage. And at that time, I was falling apart really quickly. I had basically the identity of I was checking all the boxes. I had gone to college. I had gotten my degree. I had been successful, quote unquote, in my career, made 6 figures, made even more, had a car, had a house, had a husband, and was trying to check the box of the babies. And that just wasn't in the lineup for me. That wasn't something that I'd ever dreamed of or wanted to pursue in the form of human babies. Here's my little biscuita. She's in my lap right now. I have my babies. Anyway, so back to the story. So at the end of 2018, my marriage ended. And I continued to push, continued to try to grasp onto what is my identity. I had been in a very codependent relationship, trying to control the relationship, trying to control all the possible outcomes and check all the boxes. He and I were a great match on paper, but never really dug into that deeper level of ourselves and definitely not into the relationship. And as all those other things, those outside forces continue to happen without that depth of a connection, it was ending. And I'm grateful for all the pieces that happened during that relationship and all the things that I learned, all the things that I got to experience through that time, and all of the pain that I experienced and everything within my body for me to get to a point later to ultimately understand my body so much more and to be able to take control of my health, of the actions of the things that I'm putting on my body, putting into my body, surrounding myself with the energies. But all of that was part of my evolution. So back to 2018, so the marriage ends. 2019, I'm just continuing down destruction alley. And in another codependent friendship, a trauma-bonded friendship, relationship with substance abuse, and just continued putting myself in energy of where I was and not where I was heading to. So I eventually got even worse and worse with my health. I left that job, got let go by the job because I didn't want to follow the rules, which turned out to be a great decision for me. So 2019, I just continued down this path of destruction, and 2020 as well, and not taking care of myself, having no real aspiration, no aspirational identity, nobody even around me that I was not surrounding, let me rephrase this. I was not being inspired by anyone around me, and I doubt I was inspiring any others as well. I was in a path of destruction and my health got worse. I had another massive surgery in 2020, and then 3 months after that surgery, it was the worst day of my life. I wanted to die. It was the most excruciating pain I've ever experienced. And my body pushed me to that level of, what are you going to do, Amanda? Like, this is fucking terrible. Like, this isn't the way I want to live. So that was a choice at the beginning of 2021 where I went to see a naturopath and did a full detox of my gut, of all the toxins that were in my environment, of the different shampoos and oils and creams, so putting on my hair, on my body, on my face, changing out, no more fluoride toothpaste. I got a water filtration system, reverse osmosis for drinking, full house for the whole shower body, everything with the water. Cut out seed oils, started just making changes with eating organic, eating things more natural, getting back to a more homeopathic way of living. When I did that, and as I started to do that, I started to shift the people that I was around as well. I left that job that had a lot of toxic energy. It was a place where I've been really successful. Leadership had changed several times. It wasn't no longer aligned for me. I wasn't having fun with it anymore. I loved helping customers. I loved helping find solutions for the people that I was working with. And I just no longer believed in the product and the service that I was providing. So it felt misaligned for me at that point. So it was a blessing that I made that decision to separate from that organization. But at that time, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I just knew that that wasn't it. So I'd come out of that relationship. I didn't know what I wanted to do with myself. I had nobody around me giving me any sort of inspiration or opportunities to look up to, aspire to. One friend who had healed herself naturally from multiple sclerosis, she definitely influenced me to heal my body. She connected me with this naturopath, and that was it. I took off, and I was like, wow, if I can do this, she can do this, I can do this. I didn't believe her when she said I could do it at first. I was like, she is crazy. But let me tell you, anything can be healed. A lot of it is the stuff that's around you, and the rest of it, it's in your mind. It's in the story that you tell yourself. And I will believe that forever. Convince me I'm wrong. You watch, don't take my word for it. Look up Joe Dispenza, Greg Braden. Oh, so many. The body keeps the score. And a lot of this is these trapped emotions that are trapped in your body, trapped in your mind. We get this story out. We release those trapped emotions. I'm so excited that all of this evolved to what I'm doing now and helping coach other people. So that's part of my story. Is it all intertwined and connected? So I started healing myself physically. And at that time, I was in another codependent relationship with substance abuse. I was numbing, still nothing around me that was inspiring me. And then hit a fucking wall. And maybe I actually died that day. I'm not sure. Had to reboot, Control Alt Delete, and started surrounding myself with some different people. I started being more selective of where my energy was going and stopped doing silly drugs that made no sense. I started connecting into my body. I started connecting back into my heart. I started getting involved in these different communities that were giving me people to aspire to, that had been doing the work, that had things in their lives that I wanted, whether that was a purpose. I wanted a purpose. I wanted to feel like there was something to get excited to wake up about every day. I wanted that so bad. People that had long-term relationships, I wanted that so bad. I was new into this relationship with Sebastian and had all the feelings of like, this feels so magical. Let's keep this going. And knowing that we both had our own personal wounds that we were still working through and learning from, that things are going to come up. So how can we learn from others who are further along in this journey in their relationship? Where can we learn from them? Then fast forward, as I started surrounding myself with different people, I had known who Sebastian was, but I was in this other relationship, and after that relationship ended, Sebastian and I reconnected for a music video. He is a musician, and after that we connected, and I thought, I really want to practice my Spanish more. He's from Chile, and his obviously his native language is Spanish, and he wanted someone to practice his English with as well. So it was a great opportunity for us to connect and to lay a completely different type of foundation in our relationship than what I had ever experienced before. And having the language barrier at the beginning was really important. It was really powerful in our relationship building, because I had previously been in relationships with all the relationships around me. I felt like I was like over explaining and over validating with words what I was trying to say to make sure that I felt seen and heard, because I had not yet felt seen or heard in the previous relationships that I had been in, romantic or not romantic, professional or not professional, or personal. So when Sebastian and I met, and we're communicating now, where his primary language is Spanish, mine is English. He knows English, I know some Spanish. However, in that beginning stage, it was necessary to be as direct as possible and eliminate all these extra words and all this extra validation and just blah that ends up being in our vocabulary. And I'm practicing staying into that, because now we kind of speak our own language, are so connected that I do say a lot of extra words, I know now. So I want to go back to that space. But we had to be very clear and direct in our communication, because definitely lost in translation is a real thing, right? So that was such a beautiful part of the beginning of our relationship. As well, at the beginning of our relationship, we met before, like in 2019, but when we first started dating in 2023, we were going through all the language and getting to know each other. And then shortly thereafter, we were together, we started going to Awaken. We went to Awaken just like 8 months after we met each other. And it was such a powerful experience, because we were able to go into a space like that where we were open to receive and knew that we had different woundings from our past. We had already been going through a lot of those in that first year of being together. And whenever we went into Awaken and we were able to see others being vulnerable and healing those parts and recognizing, oh, that trigger that came up with you, my spouse, is not really you, it's me and something that happened to me in the past. And how can I look into that and heal that part of me from the past so that it's not reflected and bumping up against that part of you? So that was a big part of our journey in our first year together, as well as starting to learn from all these around us that were in these groups and in these communities. That's why I'm constantly talking about how powerful community is. So my journey continues, and in the Awaken community, I was introduced to the 4-step process that Enlifted teaches, and through that process from Danny Rios, I identified this inner critic this language that I've been using to talk to myself. And I was like, holy shit. I had not been very nice to little Amanda. And I had a lot of stories that were stuck in my body, a lot of emotions that were trapped in my body, a lot of coulda, woulda, shouldas, and the negative self-talk and the language that I was using was literally crushing me. And it sounds crazy because we were taught, oh, sticks and stones will break your bones, but words can never hurt me. Yeah, they can hurt you. And they are. And whenever you start identifying the words that you are using, that you are listening to by those around you, you'll start to see how powerful this tool is. So I started learning this, and during this process, huge awakening for me. Was able to let go of those stories that were keeping me stuck. I was able to have the emotional capacity to start embodying all the things that I had been learning from all of my mentors about how to embody this life of love as a co-creator, as I manifest my dreams, to live my dream life, to receive the love of this dream partner that I had magnetized. But I didn't have space for it until I cleaned out all that shit that was stuck in my body. Words, people. And I was allowed to release that, reset my nervous system, learn to control my nervous system, to work with my nervous system, to work with medicine that works with my nervous system. To work with my breath, to surround myself by those that inspire me and uplift me and support me and see me and hear me, instead of those that drag me down and drain me and mistreat me. It's time for me to step up and take care of myself. And that's what I've done. And in that time, I started this podcast. And I started this podcast because I wanted to share all the things that I had learned from all these different amazing mentors that have been part of my journey. I wanted to have amazing conversations with people like I did this morning when I made the recorded episode 51 with Mark. And all the amazing connections that I've met, communities that I've been a part of as I've continued this process. I spoke at another group at the Light Council Summit a couple months ago with Elizabeth Planson, and it was just incredible, the people that I've continued to meet after starting this podcast. And whenever I started it, it was, again, like I said, to share the information that I learned along the way. And it's been so much more. It's reminded me that it's safe to speak up. It's safe to share my truth. It's safe to use my voice. And each time I do that, I'm giving myself permission to continue to do it. And I'm giving you and someone else out there the permission that you don't need. You don't need my permission. But seeing me do it, seeing me step up, put myself out there to be vulnerable, if that inspires you, great. But truly, it's inspiring me. So I have said, if this inspires one person, it's worth it all. And it is. It's inspiring myself. We learn, we remember 30% of what we hear, 50% of what we write down, and 80% of what we teach or explain to others. And let me tell you, when you hear people on social media say, I don't know who needs to hear this, but let me tell you who needs to hear it. It's me. I'm saying it for myself, because whenever I teach it or explain it to someone else, I get to embody it even more every single time. So each time I teach this information about the language, about how it affects your thinking, to think about your thinking, and to change these stories that we tell ourselves, I get to learn it and embody it even more. So that's who needs to hear this. I need to hear this. So that's why I'm speaking it. So if there's anything that's on your heart, speak it. It feels so much better when you do. And it may be a little scary to do it at first, but the more that you do it, the better it feels and the easier it feels. And I guarantee you that your story is similar to somebody else's story. And I know, oh, my story is so big. Everybody's got their story, and everybody thinks that their story is so much bigger and grander or worse, or like we're on some sort of, trauma spectrum or whatever it is. But everybody's got their own experience and their own story. And it's not the grief Olympics or the trauma Olympics or the baggage. We're not weighing the baggage over here. There's no baggage weight limit to get onto this plane. But that's the truth, is that we all have our story, and we can come together in a community and share this magic together, be seen, be heard in a space where people support us and understand us. And we go through this 4-step process, this Enlifted method. It's so powerful to help you reset your nervous system. It's what's worked for me. So I want to share it with you and invite you to take this step for yourself, to invest in yourself, to invest in a space where you feel seen, where you can practice sharing your message, practice being heard. And if sharing in a group, you're not ready to do that yet, that's okay too. I still have one-on-one sessions open. I've got space for 4 new one-on-one clients this month. So if there's something that you have on your heart that you're not ready to share with others, but something, that story that's keeping you stuck, comment, click on the link in the show notes below, and let's book a breakthrough session. Let's work through it together. I'm not claiming to know all the answers. I'm not claiming to know any answers. But what I am claiming is that I can hold the light for you. I can shine a little bit different perspective on things, help ask some questions, and get curious about what's going on, and likely help break loose a little bit of what's keeping you stuck and get you back on track, to get you moving again. Because really that's the key, is when we start to get slowed down and get stuck, sometimes we just need a little jump start, somebody to help us along the way. And that's what I'm here for. I'm here to shine the light, get you started back up, and we'll get you back on the path. The technique that I use, the Enlifted method, is so magical because, let me tell you, it works on anything and everything. Everything. It works. And I'm excited to share it. And I have some amazing collaborators that are within my network, whether you're looking for help with breath work, with sound baths, Tibetan bowl clearings, human design, Ayurveda, money, tuning forks, fascia, your connection with plant medicine, whatever it is, men's group, women's group, all of it. I've got connections in all of these areas. I keep meeting these magical people. So all of these different tools are available to help you along the path and what you're doing. So that's my story, from checking every box and still falling apart, to hitting rock bottom, to finally listening to my body and rebuilding from the inside out. It wasn't one thing that changed everything. It was choosing over and over to surround myself with people who saw me, to change what I was putting into my body, and to finally rewrite the story that I was telling myself. If any part of this resonated with you, if you've got a story that keeps you stuck, or if you're starting to feel that pull to change something, I want you to know you don't need permission. You just need a place to start. And that's what I'm here for. I've got space for 4 new one-on-one clients this month. So click the link below in the show notes and let's book your breakthrough session. Let's work through it together. Until next time, keep coming back to the heart. If this conversation is lighting something up in you, if you are feeling that pull to go deeper, I want to invite you into my coaching space. Whether you are just starting to untangle old stories or you are ready to fully embody your next level, your quantum leap, I offer one-on-one sessions or a transformational 4-pack designed to help you shift fast and with real support. My coaching blends nervous system work, breath work, and story alchemy. So you're not just learning, you are living your breakthroughs. You can book a free 30-minute intro call to see if it's the right fit for you. Email me at back2loveme@gmail.com. That's backtotheheart@gmail.com, or find the link in the show notes below. Let's get you back to the heart, because that is where your power lives.